Hi there, my name is Naomi Moore and I'm a solicitor at Brent Community Law Centre and I practice primarily in housing law. So today I'm going to be talking to you about young people and what their rights are in respect of housing. Now, if a young person wants to approach the local authority for accommodation, they'll have to satisfy 5 sets of criteria. The first set of criteria is that they have a local connection to the borough, either that they live or work in the borough, or they have family members or go to school in the borough. They have to be eligible for assistance. So that means that they are not subject to any immigration control. They have to be homeless or threatened with homelessness within the next 28 days. And they can't have done anything to have made themselves homeless. So they can't be found to be intentionally homeless. And lastly, they have to be in priority need. Now, in order to be in priority need, a person either has to be, a lady who's pregnant, have children who reside with them full time, have a medical illness, either physical or mental, or be vulnerable as a result of perhaps having served time in prison or have been a care leaver. Now, in respect of young people, it is, unless they can satisfy that last set of criteria, they won't be classified as homeless and the council won't owe them a duty. If, however, you feel that you come within any of the priority need criteria as described, then the council may well owe you a duty. Okay, so if the council accept that they owe you a homelessness duty, they can discharge their duty in one of 2 ways. So the first way that they may do that is by offering you temporary accommodation. So initially, whilst they were undertaking their inquiries, they would have housed you in emergency accommodation such as a bed and breakfast. And then they would move you on to ideally self-contained accommodation, which would be your own flat. However, if you are under 35, they will house you in shared accommodation because housing benefit will only pay the rent of shared accommodation. Now, if the council make a negative decision and say, we're not going to house you, we don't owe you any duties, you have 21 days within which to request a review of the decision. Ideally, you should get a legal representative to do this review on your behalf. If the review is negative, there is a further right of appeal to your local county court, and again, you will require a solicitor. So you need to act quickly in respect of getting legal advice and challenging a negative decision of the local authority. The wait for council accommodation, once accepted, can be in excess of 10 years, so you will have to actively bid for accommodation using the council's Locata scheme, which is an online bidding system. So a young person under the age of 18 will be eligible for help and assistance from social services if they have a disability, if they have previously been in care or are a care leaver, or if they are aged between 16 and 17 and classified as a child in need. If a young person is not eligible for help and assistance from the local authority, the London Borough of Brent have an organisation called Start Plus, who they can refer vulnerable young people to who have support needs, and that organisation may be able to arrange accommodation for them. Help available varies from borough to borough, so a young person is advised to contact their local council to find out what help and assistance is available. Council accommodation is only available for those who meet the set criteria. If a young person does not meet the set criteria, then they will have to find their own accommodation in the private sector. Searching for accommodation in the private sector will entail visiting letting agents, looking online, looking at newspaper adverts in the local press. So letting agents will charge fees in addition to the young person having to pay 1 month's rent in advance, as well as a tenancy deposit, which is the equivalent of 6 weeks' rent. This will all have to be paid up front and can be in the region of between £2,000 to £3,000 at the beginning of the tenancy. If a young person needs help affording the rent or affording the tenancy deposit, help is available by making an application for discretionary housing benefit. That application can be made at your local authority's offices. In addition, if you need help to pay the rent on an ongoing basis, you can apply for housing benefit. The decision to award discretionary housing benefit is discretionary, and unfortunately there is no right of challenge. If you are a full-time student, you will not be eligible for housing benefit unless you come within the exceptions. The most common exceptions are that you have a child, that you are in receipt of job seekers allowance, income support or employment support allowance, that you are a foster carer, or that you are a lone parent. If you're a part-time student, you will be eligible for housing benefit if you are not in relevant education, i.e. you're not undertaking a degree course and your mode of study is less than 16 hours a week. If a young person wants to know about their rights in respect of renting in the private sector, then they should purchase my new book, The Tenants' Rights Manual, The Essential Guide to Renting, available on Amazon.